Now let's say you want to have two paragraphs and kind of move them across. So you have, let's say, two that are formatted in different ways and just kind of keep repeating that. So we've talked about IDs. The next thing are something called a class. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in that class, and I'm going to say class here. Okay? Now what classes are supposed to do is they work very similar to IDs, except for the class you can use for multiple tags. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste this and paste it again. So let's say you have a body of text and you want to, let's say, have paragraph and format that a specific way. Well, you notice how there's no more formatting in there. And that's the reason is we don't use the number sign or the hashtag for the first paragraph. We use a period instead. All right, and you can see that as soon as I do that, okay, everything works out here. Now, what you'll also notice is that the formatting moves over here. And I only have to do this once. So let's say you're making a big site, and I'm just going to change this to 20. So as soon as I change it to 20, you see that everything does change accordingly. So let's say you're making a big site with paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs, and you want to have this kind of this text where you go and change maybe even just the font color, or you can change it to italics or something like that. Well, if you want to do this every other paragraph, you have to use these classes here. Now, this is a very simple example, and again, it's more for example purposes. You wouldn't actually make anything that looks like this. And I understand that it's not exactly the most visually pleasing website, but again, we're learning here. So you want to make sure, I can copy and paste these classes at any given time, and you can see that, for instance, they just, whatever the class is the second paragraph, it just goes and adds in the second paragraph here. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to undo all of this here. Okay, and as you can see, it does work out quite well. And if you need to add in more CSS to multiple tags, you use a class. Let's take a look at some more CSS in the next tutorial.